Hi, it's Joy, and today we're watching Superman and Lois, Season 3, Episode 9, Uncontrollable Forces. I'm so excited to be back with another episode of this show. I adore it so much. A reminder that if you're watching on YouTube, you can find the unedited version of this show on my Patreon. And let's go. Is something wrong? She hasn't told Clark, has she? Or has she? He wasn't with her. I mean, she doesn't want to worry anyone if it's not real, but she shouldn't be here alone. Clark will be with you. Talk to him. He can sense something's up with you. And that is one of the worst feelings.
Come on, I know
knowing
that's not
something's
true.
wrong
You
with
must have
someone
had
you
at least
love.
one crush in your
Well, actually,
it's kind of a girl thing. Sorry.
It's awkward.
Lois is ambushing her, which I didn't think that she would mind because, well, she's Lois.
great. I'm gonna head out now before she leaves for the day. Nice.
Lois
I'm
is
sure
not
it's great.
okay
Run
right
it.
now.
You should probably get that. I'll see you later.
Taking advantage of the busy times.
George, what is that noise?
George, you should have told her sooner, you stupid man. Well, of course these people are coming to Smallville.
George, are you okay? Can you hear me? George!
Ah, well, you know, rip.
A story on judicial reform.
Actually, we want to ask you a few questions about Henry Miller.
Yes, ambush.
Dude, you're not gonna believe other girls.
Metropolis party, that's right.
These reckless children. Bless him, Sarah's also going to be there.
Right?
You're in the 3rd grade then, huh? I guess we just skipped right past the whole getting to know each other formalities, huh?
Her and George Jr. used to be so close.
George Jr. Sarah has snuck out, but none of the kids are where they said they were.
Parties are...
The windows aren't tinted, the rims are standard.
But it's a new car. I gotta watch
Is
for
he
my
a rich
16th
douche
birthday.
here?
Yeah, okay, that's gonna be a hard pass. I mean, it doesn't sound great, but maybe it was just something out of context. Oh, context of that one's pretty clear.
Yeah. Kind of cute, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess, knowing absolutely nothing about him.
On it.
You didn't know anything about this while it's Travis. She is a wing woman in Supreme.
You sure?
His friends would so be looking like, ooh.
Working up the nerve to come over and talk to you, she just sort of forced my hand a little.
That's Sarah.
Really?
Oh, Lord.
Are you aware that Henry Miller not only survived months after his release, but had also displayed superpowers?
Mm-hmm. Someone is either
He was
blackmailing
the
you or
one fighting
using
Superman
you.
in Hobbs Bay.
You were tricked or you're being hurt and threatened and used.
Your Honor, are you all right?
I can handle this.
Who the hell are you?
This interview's over.
Who is this?
Eve, don't touch me.
It's not looking good.
What do you think I was talking about?
Nothing. No, I'm just trying to figure out who sent that
Whatever's
fixer.
bothering you.
If ever you're ready to talk about it, I'm here for you.
I know you are.
I mean it. We're a team. Best one I know.
I love that. I love that because he's not pressuring her. Like, you should tell me because we're a team and you gotta tell me right now so I can help you. He's leaving it fully under her control when she's ready. I love that.
Follow me.
Jonathan.
I wasn't avoiding you. I didn't even know you were here, and I wanted to give you space.
Jordan, you don't need to give me space. Best friend.
Same here.
Thing is, the sad truth of it in a way is that I do also think, and I'm not blaming Sarah here, she's like a 15-year-old kid. No blame here. She needs to be understanding of Jonathan's feelings, and those feelings are that he still wants to be romantic with her, and he is respecting that she doesn't want it back, but he might need some time when they're not seeing each other every day to process the fact that it's not, there's my girlfriend, there's my best friend. They can get there, but...
Great.
So this is
All
sweet.
right, so
Metropolis bros won't mind us playing with water cups if we put a little money on the line.
Responsible, I like it. I'm glad they're having fun.
If you're hungry.
I've bothered you enough.
Are these two gonna
Actually,
start
you
getting
do me a
together now
favor.
like everyone thinks?
Nat caught me by surprise with this
Fuck. I will say, I don't buy for a second Lois was the first person to make it on that roof to talk to her. There would be friends, people she worked with.
Can't go back inside.
They threatened
I
her
went to work
family or
this morning.
something.
And then you asked me about Henry Miller. I knew it was the day I was gonna die.
We can help you. Tell us what's wrong.
Superman!
Fuck.
What do you want?
You to stop killing people?
So you're threatened because someone else has powers?
A villain?
Still don't see what that's got to do with me.
You had Henry Miller released from prison, the head of Intergang?
It's a rumor that never dies. No matter how many times I try to kill it.
Literally.
Did you give Henry Miller?
Here, in my part of Metropolis, I'm the hero, not you.
And everyone's
I
too
know you're
scared
not
of
the
you
bad
if
guy.
they know the truth.
Some people are just unstoppable.
No, please don't give up. Please let me help you.
This is the last thing she needs today. I mean, also, I don't want this woman to die, but...
this is vegan.
Miss this.
Jonathan.
Sitting here talking to you.
He is 16.
It's cool.
Pull back.
Wait, I've got a girlfriend.
You've been texting me this whole week.
As friends.
And you drove all the way to Metropolis to see me.
Well, yeah, because I thought we were friends. I'm so sorry.
Good on you, sweetheart.
Fetch me a beer. Yeah, you could be
Just
our beer
go
bitch.
home.
He's not getting you crap.
Smart, funny, and like.
These two have
gorgeous.
really got to know each other.
I mean, you must be turning.
Oh, you want a beer? You want a
Oh,
beer?
Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
You walked into that water in the face.
Here's your beer, bitch. Those jerk-offs deserve way more than a beer in their face.
I got an idea.
The mysterious girl. I'm convinced weird face person is going to show up. Yep. We found the killer. Yep. Sound wave like a shotgun. Surely they are gonna kill them because they've seen it.
No one was gonna come here to save us. So I became the person they looked to.
Through
I
crime and
transformed
violence.
this community.
Decent
I
number of
gave
people
my
are afraid of
people
you
hope.
too. You also
I
killed a
made
lot of people.
real change. I didn't just put out fires. You haven't changed a damn thing.
He's saved the fucking world.
I saved
More than
people's
you can
lives.
say.
Not here, you didn't.
Interesting.
Acting like you're better than me.
You're a criminal who kills people. If you were just a rich person who was looking out for your community, I'd love you. But you're not. You're a murderer. So he is better than you.
I know what that feels like. Facing something uncontrollable. I'm facing something uncontrollable too. I just found out I have cancer.
All the
And
places
it's
as well,
aggressive.
for him to hear it. I mean, it's her saving a life,
All
hopefully.
day, I've been trying to hang on to hope. But it's really hard because I'm really scared.
Yeah.
If
Trust
I can do it,
Lois.
you can do it too.
Thank God. so much love and fear. Don't like leave her alone, take her inside. Like go with her and talk to her immediately before she can. That's what she was afraid of, seeing that look on your face as well. It was instant love. I mean, that security camera's getting a nice shot, but I love them. I love how there wasn't a single moment there of him being like, why didn't you tell me? You should have told me sooner. He just is immediately just in pain and also there for her.
I have inflammatory breast cancer. And I didn't want to scare you. And I didn't want you to look at me like I was sick.
He's only ever gonna look at you with love.
You are the strongest person I know.
Doesn't always matter when it comes to illness, unfortunately.
I promise you, I will never look at you any other way.
But he'll always look at you with love.
I'm not ready for everything to change.
No.
We are gonna get through this together.
This is not gonna be an easy plotline to
You're
watch.
not gonna go to any more doctor's visits alone.
Never ever.
You're gonna
Although
beat this thing.
possibly, if the world's ending, you might have to. But we are gonna beat this.
It's not down in my mind.
Dude, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Phyllis,
Okay.
Yeah, she's never seen him before, flying around.
I told you it wasn't going to work.
I'm not done. That
Who
was
is
only
this?
one trial.
He's dead, but John Henry Irons isn't.
You killed him.
Fuck, of course!
I know.
I didn't even think that the person, I sound like a woman, would recognize him.
Okay.
Guys, your mom has something she wants to
I
tell
have
you.
been the
but
child in this
before she does,
conversation.
just want you both to know that we are going to get through this as a family.
I was just diagnosed with stage 3 inflammatory breast cancer. And I need to start doing treatments right away.
Thank fucking God it wasn't as bad with my mum. But I've sat there while your world shatters. These poor babies. The last thing you ever want to do is hurt your family, and they just love you and are so scared for you. I gotta get through this. Like, one thing I try and do always in my reactions is be honest and connect. The reason I started reacting is because I have always been somebody who ultra connected with the shows I was watching, and so I feel like sometimes I like not trauma dump. Like, I probably tell people far too much about my life, but no. My nan had breast cancer and my mum had breast cancer. My mum's was worse than my nan's, but neither of them thankfully were as serious as Lois's. Currently a family friend who we haven't actually really been in contact with that much, but I'm still in contact with like her children who are like my age. She's also like got very, very bad cancer, and so just, I mean, everyone has a cancer story. It's part of what ultimately killed my granddad. My aunt had thyroid cancer. Like, every single one of us has been brushed with this, and so there's a part of me that's angry at them for doing a plotline, but I also know that it helps people to see that you're not alone in a way, weird as it is, that like even Superman can have that happen in his family. They've handled it very well so far. The absolute shock Lois was going through, the minute it looked like they were kind of doing a scan around there, and I was worried. I was hopefully it was going to be, oh, she just needs to take a bit more vitamin D, but the way Clark found out as well. I think one of my favourite things was they didn't play it for the whole like, why didn't you tell me sooner? He was immediately like, well, you were processing. And like, in that moment, she could have been like, well, I'm not telling Clark like this, I'll let the woman jump. But she fully saved a life by sharing a part of herself with that woman. I really hope we spoke to the judge afterwards, that we found out what she was threatened with and what she did, because they can get to her in the meantime otherwise. Okay, so the kid sneaking out to the party was typical teenage irresponsibleness. I never did so. I'm not even being sarcastic. I stayed in and watched Merlin and read books and played The Sims. I did not sneak out to any parties as a kid. I would have been the Natalie. Like, the only time I ever went to a party, I asked permission first. I would have definitely been actually asking permission. But I think in a way they handled themselves well. None of them drank, which I appreciated. There was no responsibility there. And yeah, you know, throwing something in someone's face isn't the best form, but that guy was a bitch and I needed someone to take him down a peg. And people that go to his school probably can't afford to stand up to him like that because they would be demolished by the social hierarchy around them. Whereas they're separate to that, they can do that. For Nat's sake, I hope she gets that, manages to connect with that boy. He did genuinely seem sweet. They really connected, like they were really sharing things. Like it wasn't kind of weird superficial flirting, it was just chatting. And that is, I think, in my opinion, the best way to start any kind of relationship. I mean, also, how many Mateos can there be at Metropolis? How many Natalies are there in Smallville? They can find each other. In Metropolis High School, I mean. There could be quite a few in the whole city. And given that we saw so much of him, I'm sure we'll see him again. It was nice to see Natalie being a kid and having that life, and all of them. I am glad Sarah and Jordan kind of came to the conclusion of like we're going to be really good friends and we don't need to be awkward, and like she apologized if he felt awkward around her. I do think that like there needs to be a slight acknowledgement that he definitely still would like, if tomorrow morning she woke up and said, hey, want to get back together, he would say, yes, I've already got you a gift. You know, like he is still there. And like I think that will change. I think they can be friends. Their connection is so strong that it can be romantic or platonic. I do think they can stay friends regardless. But I also think he might need a little bit of time. Then I also think there was a part of Sarah that when she saw him land was a bit like, oh. But no, it was nice to see them kind of really connect and her stick up for him and her be there for him. I wonder if they knew any of these kids, because this was their old high school. I mean, if Candace was there, it was at least adjacent to their old high school. Also proud of Jonathan for saying no to her. I mean, again, the signs that she was trying to get back with him were very, very blaring. She was sitting that close to him, kind of touching. He should have pulled away before the kiss. But I will also give him that he's a clueless teenage boy. This girl broke his heart. Why would she want to be with me? So I do respect him a lot for standing up to, well, not standing up to her, but for just backing away, apologising for sending mixed signals. Candace does need to grow up a little bit, which she will do naturally. She is a child. And learn that boys and girls can just be friends. It's okay. Maybe ask him if he has a girlfriend before you go trying to kiss him. And then the minute anyone is like, well, I won't tell anyone, I'm like, okay, so red flag. How am I to know you wouldn't cheat on me, bitch? So yeah, I am glad that he did not get back with her. The way she treated him, I mean, yeah, him moving away, I didn't think their relationship was going to last, but she could have come to visit him one last time. She could have even fucking phoned him. Admittedly they were teenagers, so I'm not like cast her to hell, but you know, good on him. I really enjoyed just all of the kids in this episode, although I didn't appreciate Sarah lying to her parents or the boys sneaking around. If the boys are very lucky that I was gonna say they're very lucky that the big news had to be said, but they're not. But you know what I mean, because Clark would definitely smell that there was alcohol in Jordan's top, because I doubt the boy he bumped into like wasn't drinking alcohol. He would definitely be able to, I mean, if Lois couldn't, I've no idea how well it dried or whatever, but Clark would smell it. So they're very lucky that they've just had their worlds shattered again. They're not lucky, don't worry. This family's going to pull together through this. It is very hard, and it's like Lois said, I'm not ready for everything to change, because even with cancer becoming more and more survivable, obviously not every form, but a lot of forms, they've caught this relatively early for the type of cancer it is. I mean, from what she said, it's a very scary type. Like, it's not like, oh, we cure this every week. Again, I don't think that's how they talk about cancer, but you know what I mean. But it's something that if she hadn't been getting that random checkup for a story, they wouldn't have found. And so, not for a story, just, you know what I mean. They wouldn't have found it. And so she would be only going to the doctor when it was far more serious and far further along, when the chances of helping and saving her would be far worse. But the treatment process, it's going to change her life. Temporarily, hopefully, but it will affect her and the whole family. And it breaks my heart to think that like a few days ago, they were giddily imagining having a third child, and now this is where they're at. But we're going to get through this. Mannheim is an interesting one. He is one of those people that I feel like is like, yes, I do bad things, but I do it for the right reasons, so it's all okay. And that invalidates your entire argument. I don't care how many good deeds you have done, you kill people. And just because they're not the people that live in your little area doesn't mean anything. And to be fair, he probably has killed people that disagreed with him in his area. There will be a lot of people in his community who see how things have got better there since he assumed control. The things have got better there for people. But there will also be people who think, Yeah, but I haven't seen my neighbour Gladys since she stood up to him at that protest. And did you hear that story about how he's technically the head of a gang? I wouldn't, I mean, again, I say this as someone that has lived a very middle class experience my whole life. I wouldn't be very comfortable with the idea that the life I was only getting to live in a comfortable community, like, because someone currently was actively murdering people to get the community to be like that. I imagine the everyday people don't know a whole deal about who Mannheim is and what he does, and they probably wouldn't necessarily believe the stuff, especially as he has, I expect, a fairly good PR team to try and like counteract it. But he's very much one of those villains that's like, I'm a good guy, and he isn't. And that line he said to Clark about, you think you're better than me, but what have you changed? Maybe he hasn't changed things, but he's saved the fucking world, which is more than you can say. And even if you had changed things, you changed things in a tiny community in one city. Like, yes, the community needed help. That is good. But like, at the end of the day, saving the world versus changing a neighborhood, I know which one is more lasting. But I think it kind of got to Clark a little bit, the idea that maybe he doesn't help people in every community, that his saving the day is restricted to certain areas. I mean, realistically, especially because he also has a life, he doesn't patrol endlessly. And then you can also argue, well, why the fuck should he help that community in Metropolis? What about people struggling in New York? What about people struggling in Mumbai, in England? You know, obviously the idea is that he's in Metropolis, so why does he only go to the rich places more than the poor places? But again, I feel like if this was a world without the megalomaniacs, the Lex Luthors, the Morgan Edges, the Mannheims, he would have more time to spend helping ordinary people. But because there are these big megalomaniac supervillains, he has to devote all his time to them. So he's going to be an interesting villain. I still need to know more about Face Shooty Lady. It sounded like a lady. Because it initially seemed as though they were Mannheim's lackey, but then they also seem like a bit more of a, he's technically in charge, but they're more equal, maybe partners or something. So I am intrigued to see what this is all going. My heart is breaking for Lois and the family. I love this show. A reminder that you can find the entire show on my Patreon unedited, and thank you so much for watching.